Hey all, I've requested a Moodle room. I've in here as editing teacher so that I can begin to play with it. But importantly, I think we should take stock of its inbuilt accessibility features, particularly as we encourage our staff to use certain heading structures, etc., to mark up their pages. So Moodle Rooms has got a really clear and clean concept of accessibility. It's been built with accessibility in mind. And this is the Snap theme. It's one of two supported themes by Moodle Rooms. And you'll notice it's got some clear features. Here is the course title. So for us, that would be the unit code and unit title of this subject. There's a navigational area. You can imagine that this is sort of their equivalent of the one topics navigation that allow people to navigate between the sections of content. And then there's the sections themselves. So this is a section of content here. In terms then of the accessibility features, they very deliberately use the heading structures to denote form and function. So you can see that the most important thing here is build your course. That's given heading 1. The navigational area and each section are equally given heading 2. That's really important to people that use assistive technologies to navigate through their content, because they need to be able to jump, for instance, to the navigational frame to move around the content quickly. And then any material below that has got lower heading structures, 3, 4, 5, etc. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to go and edit the content of this first section. So I click on Edit Section. This is the inbuilt editor that comes with Moodle Rooms. It's the Atto editor. It has a much cleaner and simpler selection of how people display their content. And so if I were to go through and give this some names to make it easier for us, we've got our section name or section title here. If we want to start to put some additional heading structures into our content, I'm going to do that now. You might have a major heading. As I select that text and choose from the heading styles, I've only got 3 of them: large, medium, and small. So I'm going to choose large for this, and I might have a minor heading underneath that. Oops. Now, as it turns out, these map to heading 3 and heading 4 respectively. So if I save the changes here, and we'll go back to the content, you can see now visually how the hierarchy of this page is reflected in the heading structures. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. So it makes sense semantically. So I've got a little add-on to the browser that shows that. It basically reads the page, looks for the heading structures, and shows it as a table of contents. So heading 1, build your course. The page contents, which is a navigation, and the section titles are all heading 2. So you can see now you can quickly navigate between the sections because they're at the same heading level. The major heading is heading 3. The minor heading is heading 4, etc., etc. So it makes sense kind of semantically, instructionally. So I think that's important now as we start to work with our staff to design accessible courseware, that it's probably in our best interest to encourage them to use the headings 3 and heading 4 within their page content, knowing that headings 1 and 2 are reserved by Moodle for structural and functional purposes.